All right. Welcome back to the talkie. Getting ready to jump into day 3. We now have a new suspect. Johnson or something like that. I can't remember his damn name. But on day 3, we're going to be talking with Sarah. Sarah's only got a couple more days left to live, and she's supposed to be going on a date with I think his name's Jeff, right? Jeff Johnson or something like that. She's supposed to be going. She's supposed to be going on this date with Jeff, and it seems like possibly, depending on how the date turns out, Jeff might be the actual murderer of Sarah. We don't know yet, but it's very possible. We did find out a little bit of information about Jeff, and that he's being tried for the murder of his wife or girlfriend or whoever it is, but he's actually currently being tried for murder. So maybe he was the one that killed Sarah. The way that the current girlfriend died is the same way that Sarah died as well. So it seems like the two share the same culprit. So day 3, April 27th. Many a trip continues long after movement in time and space have ceased. John Steinbeck. Oh, we waking up after a beautiful night's rest. The edginess of the morning sun announces its early arrival, peering through your bedroom shades. As soon as you awake, having barely slept, you notice the emptiness. No one to hold. Right, his wife used to be there. The sunbeams reveal the lazy layers of dust floating gently on the rising dawn. With it comes the memories lying there in the stillness of the moment. In the brisk of the morning wake, Emily used to come to and snuggle up to you, the ebb and the flow of her breathing creating a warm, soothing flutter all along the length of your neck. This morning, the absence of her, the icy scent of it, leaves a lingering void. It had been nearly 2 weeks at this point, 2 weeks devoid of an eternity, a house barren without her laughter since that tragic day. And the scent of her skin, her heartfelt voice, the pain is coming harder now from the cauldron of the bottom of things. The old ways don't die easily. They linger there as though waiting for something to happen, like the remaining rays of sunshine before the darkness comes. You're not sure if you can live without her, and the numbness spreads all around like an ocean devoid of waves, loaded with deep undercurrents. You're lost in the moment as your arm searches in vain, a closeness you can't let go of. It's as if her presence is right there with you, if only faintly, a tangible resonance in the absence of intimacy. The absence subsides, and you quite unexpectedly, you experience something other than sadness and anger. Sarah's photo taken from the attic in some strange way is giving you another purpose. Jeff will be executed in 5 days. So we need to talk to Jeff. I think we need to go to wherever he's being held and talk to him. Be like, look, I'm not here to convict you or nothing, but we need to know what happened to Sarah. You need to tell me. That way I can stop it from happening. An interview with the detainee before his execution would have been ideal, but altogether impossible. Well, I guess that answers that. Unfortunately, due to the administrative procedures, it's impossible to obtain visitation rights on such short notice. While doing research on a formal novel called Brain Dead, you visited with Louis Price, a notorious prisoner incarcerated for theft and embezzlement. You wanted to know more about his psychology, the kind of person who could do such a thing. But it took you more than a month for all the processing to go through. A prison pass isn't always an easy thing to obtain, and Price wasn't even on death row. The ticking of the clock comes and goes, dispersing among the murmurs in the hallway. As the day drags on, Sarah remains uppermost in your mind.
Jacob, are you there?
But what if The gateway has already closed. And Sarah's reaching out to us saying, hello, Jacob, are you there? So we're getting ready to talk to Sarah. We think Jeff is the person that murderizes Sarah. We at least that's what the story is kind of leading us to believe. And the MO fits, the way it's done, it all fits, and it all definitely seems like that's what's going to happen. Now, Sarah's supposed to go on this date with Jeff. Now, do we let Sarah go on a date with Jeff? I mean, if we're given the choice, if we're given an option to let Sarah go on a date with Jeff, do we allow her to go on that date with Jeff? Or telling her not to go, and if she doesn't go, does that upset Jeff to the point where she's punished for it, right? Or is sending her on that date with Jeff putting her into the arms of the killer? I just don't know. We're hopefully, well, I'm assuming, I'm guessing, and hopefully we don't have to make that decision, but if that decision comes, we're going to have to really think about what we want to tell Sarah to do. And if you guys are enjoying Talkie, if you're enjoying this story and enjoying hearing me read it off to you guys, definitely hit that like button. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and join the chat and join the Tethered. You can also check out the merch down in the description. There's a link there for merch if you so inclined. Hello, Jacob. Are you there? Sarah, I'm here. I was afraid you weren't coming back. Of course I'm coming back. I always come back. I was scared of Wells. We don't have much. Look, we don't have much time, Sarah. Listen to me. We don't have much time. I did some research on Jeff last night, and technically at this point he's still alive. You're not going to like this, and you're not going to like this at all, but there's little doubt now. It was him. Jeff is the murderer. What are you talking about, Jacob? I know Jeff is violent on occasion and sometimes stupid, but I'm telling you, he would never hurt me. Believe me, I'm sure of it. You're wrong about him. Jeff isn't. Look, we're gonna let her know Jeff is in jail. Sarah, he's at Ethan Moore prison on death row. What are you talking about, Jacob? You told me that my murderer was never found. That's right. He technically was never found because he's being tried on a completely different murder case. But that's right, Sarah. But that's not why he's behind bars. He's in prison for murdering his wife, Lisa Hall, in 2002. A bullet embedded in her heart. Lisa, I know this person. I know her well. We were friends in elementary school, but we lost touch with each other later on. What you're telling me is hard to process, Jacob. It's terrible. Do you believe me? You can't trust him. She can't trust him. It's not safe to trust Jeff at this point. But I wonder if Sarah believes me. I think she does. Yes, I, of course, believe you. But I don't understand. It's not possible. And yet, it's true. Sarah, listen. You can't trust this guy. You must let him come. You mustn't let him come near you. Wait a minute, Jacob. What exactly happened to Lisa? How did she die? Is it important? I don't have the details. It is important, but I guess I don't really have the details. In the article, it only mentions that she was murdered at close range, just like you. It's impossible. Yeah, so why is it impossible, though? He killed you and then murdered his wife several years later. It's in him, Sarah, and it's more than enough evidence as far as I'm concerned. That isn't evidence, Jacob. It's not. It doesn't prove that Jeff murdered me. And that's true. That's very true. Sarah's right about that. There's no doubt about it. Do you have any other explanation? No, I don't, but I find it hard to believe that Jeff would be capable of murder. Not only is he a murderer, but he's a repeat offender. Please, Sarah, you're in denial. He's the only man in your life, and we now know for sure that he killed his wife. There's no doubt about it. None. I don't know. Shit. Sarah's not sure. And I agree with Sarah. You know, it might not be Jeff. It's very possible that it's not Jeff. But the motive, it all adds up. But Sarah needs to be strong. She needs to stand strong. Why should I be strong? For whom?
Leave me alone, Jacob.
Oh no, did I just lose? Her voice cracks, a sadness coming in sobs. Look, it's okay. It's okay, Sarah. I apologize, Jacob. It's not your fault. I'm such a mess right now. For now, the important thing is that you don't approach him under any circumstances. Keep him at bay. I was supposed to see him tomorrow night. See, this is the problem. She's supposed to meet up with him, but if we're telling her not to meet up with him, it might cause him to get upset and take his anger out on her, and that's what could potentially lead to her death. We could celebrate your birthday together, I know. It's not good. There's no way that this is going to turn out good. Because he's going to get upset. Jeff is going to get upset that we're not allowing Sarah to go see him. But you know what? We could celebrate your birthday together. It's a small consolation, but if you won, we could celebrate your birthday together. That would be nice, Jacob. But you can't be here. Not for real anyway. I wish I could offer you more. You already offered me a lot, Jacob. I'm just sad. It seems as though the only person who remembers my birthday is a cold-blooded murderer. Well, almost the only person. Kelly came by earlier today, and she brought me a birthday cake. Who's Kelly? I already told you she's my neighbor, remember? So, do you doze off when I'm telling? No. I just was verifying. I'm just making sure. I remember Kelly is your neighbor. I was just making sure. Just forgot. It's coming back to me now. Yes, Kelly, Scott's wife, right? Exactly. I've always struggled with names, even in school. I had a difficult time remembering the names of my classmates. Truth is, I have a bit of ADD, attention deficit disorder. A deficit of what? Attention deficit disorder, or ADD. It's a name given in the future for kids who become easily distracted. Isn't that a handicap in your profession? I mean, as a writer? Strangely, not at all. When I'm passionate about my work, I have no difficulty concentrating. I guess I'm like you then. ABD. ADD. As you wish. But I get it. When I paint, I'm highly focused as well. On the other hand, during Miss Stevenson's history class, nothing doing, she could have given the course in Chinese, and I wouldn't have blinked. You paint? A little. At least I used to, but I'm not very talented. It was more of a hobby than anything else. You should go back to it. It's good to be passionate about something. Yes, maybe someday. In the meantime, circling back a bit, we were saying that Kelly, your neighbor Kelly, the one I remember perfectly, came to see you. Just for the occasion, she came with her husband, Scott. She won't be in the village tomorrow because Scott is retrieving treatments in Beddington. Or receiving treatments in Beddington. By the way, he's not looking too good these days. I'm not sure if I would have recognized him if I passed him on the street. He's losing too much weight. I don't think he's coming out of this. Unfortunately, he'll probably end up on the wrong side of the grass pretty soon. Listen, Sarah. If you don't let Jeff approach you, you'll still have plenty of birthdays left to enjoy, with plenty of people to celebrate with them with.
Nice, Jacob. You're a good person. I'm sure of it.
You don't really know me. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice of you to say, but you don't really know me. It's true, not much, but a little. For instance, I know that, unlike me, you believe in God. But you do believe in fate. I know that you're very lonely and that you don't sing very well. Why don't you talk to me a bit? It's not important at this time. What do you want? Well, what do you want to know? I'm an open book. Your wife, Emily, what was she like? The most beautiful woman in the world. She was wonderful. To tell you the truth, I've always been disorganized, messed. But Emily kept things together. We complemented each other. She was my anchor. And she's gone now. And I'm afraid that without her, I'll always be adrift. And all because of that bastard Billy White. Billy White, the man who caused the accident. The drunk driver who killed my wife and my unborn child and in 3 days, pending trial, he'll be released. And I don't plan on letting that happen. What do you mean, Jacob? What do you plan on doing? Oh, I'm taking him out. I'm going to intercept him when he leaves the courthouse, and I'm going to kill him. Jacob, this is madness. The courthouse will be teeming with people. You'll get caught for sure, along with the myriad of onlookers. There's bound to be tons of journalists there, not to mention police officers. Billy White, even if he's found guilty on all charges, will be sentenced to what, 5 years in prison for destroying my family? Do you think that's fair? I know there's going to be a lot of people there, but I have a gun and I intend on emptying the magazine in this fool before being caught. Jacob, no. You'll be killed. The police will be armed to the teeth, and if by some miracle they don't shoot you dead, you'll be imprisoned. In either case, it's a death sentence. I don't want to live anyway. I don't think Jacob does. I'm just answering as Jacob. I don't think he wants to live anyway. I told you. I don't plan on being around for very long. I don't want this life anymore. You understand. I'll gladly throw it all away if I can take that bastard down with me. You don't have to die, Jacob. There has to be another way. It's your safety that matters to me. Don't get involved in this. Look, this is all about saving Sarah, not saving myself. So her safety means more to me. It's nice of you to think of me like that, but Sarah, right now, it's your own safety that I'm concerned with. You know, I understand what you're going through. I know all about depression or desperation. I know all about desperation, but you don't have to kill yourself by exacting revenge. He's already taken your family. Don't let him take you as well. I'm begging you, Jacob. Promise me you won't carry out your plan. This is madness. I can't stand the thought of him not getting what he deserves. I just can't let that happen. Jacob, promise me. I'm pleading to you. I'm sure Emily would have wanted you to live. I've already made my decision. Leave Emily. Look, I'm not going to get upset, but look, I've already made my decision. Besides, I won't necessarily be shot down and killed. In 1967, Jack Ruby murdered Lee Harvey Oswald with a single bullet and still managed to make it out unscathed. Accordingly, if I do it fast enough, I might have a chance. A very slim chance, and you know it. I'll take the risk. It's calculated risk. Look, I'll take the risk. Even if by some miracle you do succeed, then what? Prison? Most likely prison, yes. I suppose so. I guess so, but look on the bright side. The jury will probably be lenient. A husband goes mad following the loss of his pregnant wife, shoots culprit. The tabloids will have a field day. You'll probably die, Jacob. Maybe not. At least promise me to think about it. I'm sure that's what she would have wanted. Look, I'll think about it. And it's probably true. It's probably, like, Emily probably wouldn't want Jacob to do any of this. But I'll definitely think about it. But I don't think it will change a thing. There's nothing more to say. Thank you, Jacob. My God. What? What's happening? It's snowing.
It's snowing.
You glance out the living room window. Beautiful, majestic snowflakes descend in the stillness of the fading day, blanketing the entire countryside. It's snowing here too. How is that even possible? I don't know, but it's beautiful, isn't it?
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. But winter's over. You stay a moment in wondrous fascination, watching the snow dance to the beat of a different drum. A fine, milky white ivory carpet blankets the woodland scenery, and the thermometer reads 32 degrees. And the band is in full swing. Listen, Jacob, I have something to tell you. It's important. Peering out towards the edge of the forest, you suddenly notice Emily's resting place. Her budding tree weighed down by fresh snow. A visceral fear suddenly invades your tranquility. The small tree needs more time to gain strength before the winter, and it's not just ready yet. It's going to... Oh, the tree! That's right. The snow's going to take the tree out. No. You rush to the attic and grab the longest extension cord you can find. Then you reach for the portable heater, juggling the walkie-talkie as you go. The soreness in your legs come flooding back, sending shockwaves through your body, and you clench your left thigh while looking at the ceiling, biting your tongue. Still there, Jacob? Not now, Sarah. I've got a tree to save. I have to do something. What's wrong? I'll explain later, I promise. Your bad leg causes you to sway as you begin heading down the stairwell, hobbling with your hands full. Your left foot slips and you tumble down the steps, the talkie and the heater landing towards the bottom of the stairs. You hit the ground hard, real hard, your head taking the brunt of it. You feel a warm sensation trickling down the side of your face. Before long, your vision blurs and a dark vein begins to descend. Oh, the actual screen's messing. Darkening everything in its path. Or a dark veil. Oh, we got knocked the hell out. Dark veil, not dark vein. Hit our head pretty hard. Probably bleeding. The fog slowly lifts and in its place, an intense headache appears. Has it been a second, a minute, an hour? You're not sure. A sticky substance seems to be holding your head to the parquet floor, acting like a bonding agent. Blood is blood. The wound above your left temple has a massive gash, and the flow is coming stronger now. Your hair like clumps of humid underbrush. Oh no. You rise hastily, and within a few seconds, an opaque, blurry shroud covers your vision. You sway from side to side, but manage to maintain your balance. You retrieve the heater from the bottom of the steps and notice its shell is cracked. The talkie went flying as well, and you realize the back of the handset is damaged where the batteries popped out. You glance at the clock. It's 7:45 p.m. You've been unconscious for more than 30 minutes. You plug in the extension cord and power up the contraption. It works still. The thermometer now reads 10 degrees and the wind hits you as soon as you open the door. You can't believe how cold it is. How can this be? It doesn't make any sense. A pulsating leg pain, like a toothache radiating from your femur, accompanies you as you approach the budding oak tree. Blood drops accompany your footprints one after the other, leaving a trail in new fallen snow. A sudden dizziness causes you to fall. You land face down in a snowdrift. Unable to rise, you crawl on your elbows, dragging the heater by its wires. The tree is no longer visible. It's completely covered by a glistening carpet. You frantically sweep off the powder with your bare hands, freezing its branches. This little tree, on the verge of dying, is all you have left at this point, and its death is unbearable. You direct the breath of the heater towards the budding oak, the flakes melting on contact. The snow intensifies, and you can't see a thing. Or maybe you're about to faint. Or maybe it's both. The lights go out, and the pain subsides. Nothing but numbness now. Oh, we just passed out in the snow. That's not good. We're going to catch a cold. In the crunch of the snow before long, you hear footsteps approaching. Somebody found us? Someone found us outside? Are they going to help us? You suddenly awake, your blurred vision dispersing, and you're lying on the living room floor, logs crackling in the fire, and the confusion begins to wane. What the hell happened? A grizzled, tired, worn-out voice emanates from the kitchen.
Not easy to drag, my friend. It's not a reasonable undertaking for a man my age.
So the voice, you've not been easy to drag, my friend. It's not a reasonable undertaking for a man my age. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think so. What are you doing here in my house? Who the hell are you?
I'm Scott Kellerman, your
Scott.
neighbor.
Oh. He lived? That's Kelly. Isn't that Kelly's husband? The neighbor husband? He's still living? Thought he was gonna die soon. Scott Kellerman, Sarah's neighbor. You remember what she had told you? This man was all but dead 30 years ago. He must have beaten the odds, probably in his 80s by now. Sorry for not plunking you on the couch. Holy shit, my friend, you weigh a ton. I'm surprised I managed as far as I did. What the hell happened? Rather, I should be asking you the question. I saw you from my window trudging your way through the snow, saw this lunatic with blood everywhere clenching an electric heater. Luckily, I was at the right place at the right time. Bloody hell. You almost brought the farm, partner. Or you almost bought the farm. The pain in your head suddenly resumes, like an electric shock. Putting your hand on your temple, you notice that your skull is wrapped in a makeshift bandage. I used some gauze from your medicine cabinet, but don't keep touching it. Nursing was never my strong suit. If you screw around with it, it might come undone, just like toilet paper. I noticed some blood at the bottom of the steps. I guess it's yours, right? I imagine you had a fall. Tumbled down the stairs. It's because of my brain. Look, I took a little tumble down the stairs, yes. You must have been in a hurry. I mean, to leave such a bloody mess. There's an old adage, he who is in a hurry does not arrive. Well, I have a new version for you. He who rushes too much arrives dead. I like both of those adages, actually. They're both pretty good. Don't be offended, dear neighbor. It's just my way. But to you, to see you advancing like a lunatic, zigzagging through the snow, let's say you didn't exactly come across as playing with a full deck. By the way, I didn't clean any of the blood off the floor. At my age, just bending down doesn't come easy anymore. After dragging your ass back home, I'll be stiff for a week. Holding his back with one hand, Scott lets out a painful moan. Holy shit. Do you want a painkiller? I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Look, I apologize for the inconvenience. Truly sorry for causing you any trouble. You're Jacob, right? Yes. Well, how'd you know that? I don't go out much anymore, but it's a small village. Everyone knows what happened regarding you and your wife. I mean, I'm sorry for what happened to you. It's appalling.
I offer my sincere condolences, neighbor.
I appreciate that, Scott. Despite his age, Scott Kellerman still looks as sturdy as a rugged old farmhouse. His baritone voice hadn't faded with time, and it was oddly refreshing, an uncouth honesty with no pretension in it. By the way, what the hell were you doing out there, bloodied and disheveled in the middle of a whiteout? You weren't even dressed for it. It has to do with Emily, my wife. The little tree in the yard is her burial place. The roots plunged into her ashes. When I saw the storm, I panicked, so I went to the attic in order to get a heater, in order to warm its branches. And on my way back down, I tripped and tumbled down the steps. So there you have it. A fool risking his life for a tree. But I don't care. It matters to me. A tree burial. I've never heard of such thing. Well, I thought I had seen it all. Think it's going to be okay. It's warming up outside for your little tree. I mean, it's going to be okay. It's certainly a freak of nature, the weather out here. They say the kind of snowfall we had just hadn't happened since 1988. The other time it occurred was on this very same date 31 years ago, precisely. Pretty strange stuff. Not since the birth of weather forecasting has this happened before, or so they say. I took the liberty of brewing myself a cup of coffee. Would you like a cup? Oh, absolutely. It did. Gladly. Sounds delicious. By the way, thanks for everything. That's what neighbors are for, and frankly, I couldn't have simply watched you die in the snow like a pathetic little puppy. Scott gives you a grin. You'll need to rest a while. Your head looks pretty bad. By the way, do you want some sugar in your coffee? No, no, thank you. No, black is fine. Thank you. Delicious. Scott hands you a steaming cup of joe. I heard you were a writer. Is that right? I definitely know a lot. What can I say? It's a small village, a very small community, and you know, a newcomer is always big news. I was told that you write mostly horror stories. Is that right? That's what I'm known for, yes, but sometimes I'd like to branch out a little, although my agent says you must always please the reader. Truth is, an author, like a painter or a singer, sometimes becomes a prisoner of their own style. Eminem releasing a reggae album probably wouldn't sell too well. Eminem releasing a reggae album? What the hell are you talking about? Singing chocolates? Eminem, the rapper. Jeez, never mind. It just doesn't matter. Are you talking about one of those babbling artists, you know, one of those singers who can't hold a note, spewing words at breakneck speed? Is that what you call music? It takes nerve. Anyway, we're getting off topic. If you don't mind me asking, is your name really yours? Yeah, it's really mine. I'm a king. Right, parallel names, go figure. It reminds me of a guy here in town by the name of Jack. He's the owner of the Oakland Diner. As soon as you drive into town, he owns a burger joint, and his name is McDonald, for crying out loud. Jack McDonald. I guess certain names are just written in the stars. Around here, we refer to him as Mickey D, which he hates, and his restaurant as Mickey D's, and that really pisses him off. Scott breaks into a gut-wrenching laugh. I'm not always taken seriously myself. On the cover of my last book, the publisher saw fit to put my family name in gigantic letters. What a sham. I'm told you're quite talented. My wife, before passing away, would have loved your kind of stories. She was passionate about everything related to fear. Quite frankly, I never really understood what all the fuss was about. Life is often sickening enough just the way it is. I understand. I do understand. But there's another side to things. Stories are more than mere entertainment. I believe by confronting our fears, it sometimes makes a person stronger. Maybe you're right. In my case, you see, I've never been afraid of much in life. That's probably why horror stories don't have much of an impact on me. But I have a question for you. I found that old walkie-talkie near the bottom of the stairs. You'll probably find my question a little strange, but what was it there, or was it here in the house when you moved in? Not really. It wasn't in the house. It was outside. It was more outside than anything else. But I guess technically it was still here. Not exact. Oh, right. So not exactly in the house, but yes, I found it here. That's pretty incredible. It looks exactly like Kevin's old toy. He was a little boy who used to live here in the 80s, and he dragged that contraption around everywhere he went. I think it might have actually belonged to him. I wonder. You just said you didn't find it in the house, so tell me, where the hell did you find it then? It was buried in the yard in a metal box. In a metal box, right. I remember now. Kevin buried everything. Strange as that may sound, but why isn't the talkie in a state of advanced decomposition? It's been buried there for over 30 years. It doesn't seem plausible. In any case, did you break it or did you find it like that? Scott points to the back of the device. I dropped it on the stairs. You think it's broken? No shit, Sherlock. You blind? It doesn't matter anyway. If that's actually Kevin's talkie, it shouldn't be working anymore. Not after all these years. That thing is just an old piece of junk at this point. You grab the talkie and evaluate the damage. The plastic on the back is split almost 10 centimeters wide. You press the on-off button a few times, but nothing happens. You hit the transmit switch and adjust the antenna, but get absolutely nothing. Shit. It's screwed up, Jacob. Do you think it's fixable? Do you think it's fixable? Fix that old talkie? Are you out of your freaking mind? You don't even have its counterpart. A single talkie is useless without its double. Besides, you can purchase a new one at the hardware store next to nothing. I know, but I'd like to fix it anyway. I guess you have a thing for antiques. Well, in that case, I can probably patch it up relatively easily. In the 1970s, prior to becoming the sheriff, I worked in electronics. It's been a while, but I think I can tweak a thing or two. That said, antique or not, especially without its second counterpart, it doesn't have any real value anymore. It doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Listen, Scott, I can't tell you exactly why at this point, but I really need this specific handset. If you're able to fix it, I'd certainly appreciate it. I see. It shouldn't be a problem. It all depends on what you mean by quickly. I could probably fix it by, say, next week. No, 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 that's way too long. Tomorrow would be better if possible. I can pay you. Look, I can pay you if you can get it fixed by tomorrow. A contemptuous grin appears on the old man's face. Listen, neighbor, if you bring up the subject of money, we're not going to be friends for very long. I don't need your charity. It's not about charity. I'm just saying, like, it's just trying to sweeten the deal. I promise. I didn't mean to offend you. Well, when you get to be my age, making good use of your time is a paramount. The less we have of it, the more precious it is. I won't promise you anything by tomorrow, but let me see what I can do. Either way, without its counterpart, you won't have anything but static. It's all a little puzzling to me, but where I come from, it makes about as much sense as tits on a bull. Something isn't adding up, my friend. You're not on the level with me, or you're not on the level with me. You're hiding something. I'm not hiding anything. I'll explain it to you later. You're decidedly very mysterious, partner. You know, the family to which this belonged, the Williams, they suffered a disastrous fate. It's a relic of a very dark time. Really. More than you know. It was a lovely family back then. It all started with Kevin's illness. He began hearing voices, and before long, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Then the father committed suicide, and after that, out of nowhere, Sarah's boyfriend killed her in cold blood, adding to the picture that the mother died a few years later. When misfortune strikes, it cuts to the bone. So Scott believes that Sarah's boyfriend killed her in cold blood. How do you know it was the boyfriend? Wait a minute, my friend. Why this question? I get the impression you know a lot more than you're letting on. It's true. I do know quite a bit about it. Right, actually, it's for my next book. I'd like to base it on Sarah's story. I see. I get it now. You know, you could have told me that right away. That means you already know Jeff Johnson is going to be executed next week. The whole thing is going down next Thursday. He was found guilty of murdering Lisa Hall, his wife. At least that's the official verdict. Why official? Is there another reason? Let's see if it... Is there another reason as to why is there more than just that? As far as I'm concerned, yes. He got off without being convicted of murdering Sarah. So I want that dirtbag to rot in hell. You know, my wife Kelly really loved Sarah. She loved her a lot. We didn't have we didn't have children, so Sarah was like a daughter to her. Everyone in the village knew well that Jeff was the culprit, but he never had enough evidence to bring him to justice. So we couldn't condemn that shitbag. Oh, Scott's like really upset about it because Scott was the sheriff. An unexpected tear rolls down the old man's face. I think that's what ended up killing my wife. Her heart couldn't handle the grief. We just couldn't prove Sarah was murdered by Jeff. A few years later, this scumbag married Lisa. Needless to say, I didn't attend the wedding. I did everything to dissuade her from marrying this guy, but nothing doing. I already knew he was a scumbag and a murderer, but I didn't think he'd be stupid enough to start this all over again. It makes little difference now. He'll soon have a one-way ticket to hell. I would have liked to have spoken to him before his execution. Good grief, why? For my book? Yeah, for my book. An interview with the killer, perhaps to understand his motives. I understand. Anyway, you probably already know that meeting a death row inmate on such short notice is impossible. This we know. Yes, we do. Theoretically, that is. So, can you do something? Perhaps. As a former village sheriff, let's say my arm is long enough to touch my toes without bending over. Maybe I could arrange a visit for you. That would be great. Yeah, hell yeah. I can't promise anything, but I can promise to try. Just don't get too carried away with anything. How can I thank you? Do you think look? How can I thank you, Scott? What a great neighbor. Couldn't what an amazing neighbor. I wish I had neighbors like this. This is awesome. Don't worry, it's not money that I'm after, but if you want to thank me, I can make a suggestion. Yeah, anything. What's your suggestion? I'm not asking you for anything right now, but please stop playing me for a fool. Believe me, I would never. I would never do that. I don't mean to be playing you for a fool. Like, what do you mean, Scott? I've been a sheriff my whole life, and I know when something stinks. You're hiding something from me. That's obvious. I'll have a few questions for you when you're feeling better. I'm not a shit disturber, but I need to know what the fuck is going on here. I promise you. Look, I'll definitely tell you. I can't explain everything to you right now, but I'll explain everything to you later. You have my word on it. The tables turn, and it's no longer the aging neighbor staring at you, but the cold, calculating eyes of the Oakland sheriff. All right, my friend, I'll cut you some slack to begin with. I'll try and fix your walkie-talkie as soon as possible. And secondly, I'll try to see what I can do about getting you the interview with Jeff. But we're running thin on time. We'll be pushing up daisies pretty soon. Or he'll be pushing up daisies pretty soon. Scott watches you for a moment. Are you sure you're up for a conversation with Jeff? You look like a ragamuffin, my friend. I'm sure. At least secure those bandages on your head. Like you're like a fucking mummy coming unglued. Scott places his hand on his thighs, rising to his feet in considerable pain. Gonna be a mess tomorrow. Sore as hell. Holy shit. All week long, thanks to you. He strides slowly but confidently towards the door. I'll call you later. Grasping the doorknob, he stops for a moment. You know, I also lost my wife almost 30 years ago, so I know about being lonely. She was my rock. I was seriously ill for almost 5 years with cancer, aggressive pancreatic cancer, and according to my doctors, I was a goner. I wouldn't have made it without her. They ended up sending me to a palliative care. I didn't eat or drink for a couple of weeks. I'm telling you, I was so emaciated that I looked like a fucking skeleton. Had I been out in the sun, vultures would have been circling above me, looking for a meal. Kelly stayed by my side day and night, and after 13 days on June 2nd, 1989, for no apparent reason, I suddenly came back to life. That morning, I just sat there on the edge of my bed, awestruck. You should have seen my doctor's face when they saw the x-rays. There was nothing left. The cancer had vanished, just like that. It was gone. I must have seen a dozen doctors, and in the days to follow, they gave me one fucking test after another. A practitioner came all the way from New York just to examine me. I was in total remission. Just between you and me, I was at peace to have reached the end of my story. I never imagined I was coming out of this. And for reasons I'll never know, my epilogue decided to lengthen. My oncologist called me the miracle boy. I was sent home, and Kelly spent all her time crying tears that just kept coming. In my entire life, I had never seen Kelly so grateful. She spent all of her time thanking little Jesus. I said to her, leave the blessed Redeemer out of this. If he wanted to work his miracles, he'd have taken care of all those kids in the pediatric ward. Instead, he allowed this old, tired carcass to go on living. I'll never know why. I can't stand those bleeding hearts that say God moves in mysterious ways.
Fucking stupid phrase.
The old man's lips, stretched with deep wrinkles, broadened just a little. He allowed himself a slight grin, and it showed a hint of tenderness behind the strong, wind-blown facade, or at least a glimpse of it. My poor Kelly, she had it rough. I mean, the fucking date had been in the works for my funeral. It was the only thing still pending other than my demise, the final nail in my coffin. When I came out of remission, she was so happy, ecstatically happy. She even decided to plan a bloody cruise. It was one of her dreams, a luxury cruise together. But plunking my skinny white ass on a giant cruise liner, if truth be told, isn't exactly my thing. Especially since each time I set foot on a ship, I regularly chuck my cookies when nobody's watching. But that cruise thing was so important to her, I just didn't have the heart to turn her down. Scott's face suddenly sinks. Then, a week before we're scheduled to depart, Kelly died of a sudden heart attack. She had never been sick a day in her life. It should have been me. That's the way I see it, the way it was meant to be, that I'd be the first to go, so my world suddenly got turned upside down. Sometimes life has a sense of humor I really don't appreciate, not in the least. In any case, all this to tell you that I understand that I understand what you're going through. At least I think so.
In the meantime, get some rest, my friend.
In the meantime, get some rest, my friend. A cold silence permeates the room as soon as Scott closes the door. Thoughts of Sarah come flooding in. Time is running short. Emily's resting place will have to wait. It's what she would have wanted, to take care of the living. Time is of the essence. Oh, we got up too quick. You get up too quickly, and you narrowly avoid falling by leaning against the mantelpiece. As you glance outside, you notice a dark figure bustling about in the woods. The open light on the porch reveals a silhouette hunched over in a distance. It's Scott. He's fussing with the little oak tree, aiming the heater's breath towards the stunted branches. What a nice man. What a distinguished gentleman. Like, Scott, what a nice guy. The snowfall ceases as the temperatures rise, and you hear ice water dripping from the awning. You catch a glimpse of it, the water flowing in long, steady streaks similar to strands of dark filament. You're touched by Scott's gesture as you walk hesitantly towards the bathroom. You glance at yourself in the mirror, a reflection that would scare a blind man. Son of a bitch. It's exactly what Scott would have said. And now you're the one saying it. Blackened eyes and a pale complexion, dried blood speckled on your cheeks. Worse, the ill-fitting bandage rolls over and exposes a gaping gash. Oof, not good. An asylum escapee. After a warm bath, you replace the bandages. In the midst of glass, your face is looking slightly better, but just barely. A mix of purple and black reveal long carved circles under your eyes. And no wonder. You haven't been able to sleep since Emily's passing, the incident holding you hostage night after night. Walking down the hallway, you hear the sound of a raspy guitar and you aren't sure where it's coming from, like the radio was on. You search the house without finding the source, but it becomes amplified as you approach the living room window. It's getting dark outside, the sun fading faster behind the mountains. As you peer across the yard, you notice something. There, between the pines, a light is emanating in the distance, soft and serene. It's a porch light, and the old man is sitting in his rocking chair, strumming his guitar, and the sound is drawing you in. You open the window to hear Scott play. Are we going to actually hear him play? It rises in the distance, the entire area submerged in haunting melancholy. It's Scott singing a little ditty, and it's wonderful, straight from the heart. Your thoughts return to Sarah and then to Scott. Tomorrow, if he's unable to fix it, communication with Sarah will be indefinitely terminated. Repairing the talkie is imperative. He's singing the song.
Oh Lord, please take me home. When I'm thinking back about you and me, I get a knot in my throat, I can't breathe. It's so hard to go on when you're all alone. Feel like the last man standing. I'm on my own. So Lord, please take me home. Oh Lord, please take me home.
That's a nice song.
'Cause home is not a building, it's not a house or a place. It's the people in your heart that occupy that space. And I'm trying to forget you, but I just can't get away. 'Cause everywhere I look, I see your face. So Lord, please take me home. Oh Lord, please take me home.
What a sad song.
But every time I think about you now, still makes me cry. I spend my days just asking why. Last night I saw a shooting star, and I don't know why. I thought it might be you waving goodbye. So Lord, please take me home. Oh Lord, please take me home. Oh Lord, please take me home. Oh Lord, please take me home.
What a song. Fiery embers glow beneath the crackling logs, dying ever so gently. A shiver comes over you like the breath of a premonition, or was it just the temperature dropping? You immediately stoke the fire with another log, stirring it with the poker. Timid flames start licking. Timid flames start licking up the bark as though lapping up a drink of water, the blaze rising higher and higher. As you make your way to the couch, you bump your leg, the bad one, against the pedestal and the sofa, and it causes your eyes to water. Holding it while resting on the couch, you contemplate your prison interview. If Scott's influence still carries the kind of weight he suggested, he just might be able to get you a visitation pass. But to what end? What exactly can you extract from Jeff? He never admitted to Emily's murder, but sometimes death's proximity can encourage a confession. Anyway, it's the only card I have left it's the only card you have. It's the only card left in your deck, and if Scott isn't able to repair the damn walkie-talkie, everything will be as pointless as pissing in the wind. Exhaustion washes over you, and the hypnotic effects of the fire causes your alertness to wane, and you fall asleep while sitting upright. What the hell's happening? A soft, milky white light enters the bedroom and you suddenly awake. Are you in your bed or someplace else? A citrus scent lingers playfully in the air, and all the pain and your heartache of all of it, physically and emotionally, faded into nothingness. A hand delicately caresses your shoulder, drawing you in. In the small of your back, you feel the bulge of her rounded belly. Oh no, it's our wife, or is this like a dream? Neither the accident nor the talkie exists anymore. Emily isn't dead. Sarah never existed. You bathe in a moment of blissful peace and genuine happiness. You gently take her hand. Turning to hug Emily is when you feel a warm liquid sliding down your face. It's too thick for tears. It then drizzles down your neck and into your chest. She's lying by your side, her body soiled in a puddle of warm blood. A dream turned into a nightmare. Her swollen face is exaggerated, and she stares directly into your eyes, right through them, as if you weren't even there, as if you didn't exist. The vision plunged toward... Oh my goodness. Save her, Jacob, save her. It jolts you from your sleep violently, and you remain motionless, afraid to move, waiting for the footing to stabilize. It got intense real quick. So the vision plunges you towards dread. Her mouth becomes a howling abyss. In a gnarled, raspy voice, Emily roars. And these are all the pictures of her roaring. Save her, Jacob, save her. It jolts you from your sleep violently, and you remain motionless, afraid to move, waiting for the footing to stabilize. You're back on the living room sofa, the flames ebbing in the darkness. Hello? You immediately recognize Scott's voice. My friend, I have some good news for you. The director in charge when I took my retirement is still on duty at Ethan Moore Prison. You have an audience with Jeff tomorrow at 2 p.m. Oh, that's beautiful news. Thank you 1,000 times over, Scott. If you want to thank me, I already told you, one selfless action calls for another. So just tell me what the hell is going on. That's compensation enough, if not today, if not now, then soon. It sounded more like a strict order than a request. I will soon enough, I promise. Scott, I mean it. It was still there, the room the way it was before the phone rang, the same stillness, a piercing silence now amplified by the humming of the refrigerator. You suddenly get a flash, an idea, as though a bulb had gone off. Without the talkie, you have no way of communicating with Sarah, but the reverse doesn't apply on her side. Sarah, from her end, can most certainly communicate with you. You rush to the attic and head straight for the floor plank. Oh, this is a good idea. I mean, we could potentially find something that Sarah's leaving us in the floor plank. You feverishly slide your arm into the opening beneath the floorboard, and your heart skips a beat when you feel a sheet of paper with your fingertips. After removing it, to your heart's delight, you see the writing. Where are you, Jacob? I would love to talk to you again. If we're not able to get in touch, I sincerely hope you have a wonderful life. But I'm pleading with you, please give up your plans for revenge. It won't bring Emily back. The culprit may deserve to die, but you certainly don't. I really care about you. P.S. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I don't think Jeff is guilty. What? You can't just leave me there with the... You can't just leave me there at end of day 3 talking about you don't think Jeff is guilty. You're going to write that on a piece of paper? Like, flip that paper around to the other side and tell me why you don't think Jeff is guilty, Sarah. What the hell? But there you have it. That is the end of day 3. And I hope you guys are enjoying the talk. I hope you're enjoying this story, this very in-depth, very amazing story. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I hope you guys are enjoying listening to me read it off to you and choose the choices that I would choose. I mean, I guess, I don't know. If you are, hit that like button. Let me know what your theories are in the comments below. Do you think Jeff killed Sarah? And likewise, do you think Jeff killed his current wife? Scott certainly believes that he did. It's pretty amazing that Scott lived through his cancer battle. I mean, next time we talk to Sarah, we're going to have to let him know that Scott lives. Like, I just got done talking to Scott. He saved my life, and yeah, he definitely lives. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.